very beginning part and then got a delicious surprise to everything else that comes next.
I mean, yes, I said yes to the delicious beginning, and it was like absolutely, it was just kind of ticked all the boxes, and then I got into the French show because I'm endlessly curious and I wanted to know, I wanted to understand the world of the original, and not in a way to sort of attach myself to it, but just to kind of get an idea of what it was that was inspiring this. And I was so blown away by the original, so it was kind of pleasant to go through it. And I love that because it's been so interesting to see the ways in which we deviate or what we follow from the first one, and the ways in which it becomes sort of really powerfully altered to cater to a primarily American audience, versus the French original. So I think that Jez and John Henry are such incredible writers that even though they are sticking in many ways to the source material, it's still so much uniquely its own thing. So it's been interesting to just be on that journey and still being surprised by the story and the ways in which it's different, but at the same time sort of having a kind of an idea of like where things are generally going. And then again, to have an actor like Michael Fassbender take on this role, I mean, honestly, one of the greatest pleasures for me of this whole thing has been taking it in after, because there's so much happening that I'm not actually even a part of, but I get to be a part of just by the way in which Michael is carrying me into Martian's story, the way in which we're seeing this tangled web that he's weaving tighten around him, and so I get to just like be present even when I'm not present, which is so fun. But yeah, so
you filmed in Cairo, I want to say, for some of yours. So yeah, you guys got some of the more interesting on-location scenes. But what was the best part about kind of getting off campus, if you will, from the London set?
I mean, I still find it to be so fun to get to go to an interesting location and not only film in a new city where you're going to experience many different things as just primarily even just a different culture, but also seeing how crews operate in different cities and like getting something done. But the madness and the beauty of a city like Cairo, I mean, that was really fun to run around Cairo and to do that. That was exciting.
Yeah, the pyramids, Watford. Watford has its exotic
decidedly more exciting, I'm going to say. I'm sorry.
What are the pyramids of Watford? What are Watford's pyramids?
I don't understand how they made them. Watford has a fine train station.
You see, they just had that new discovery with the pyramids, actually.
In Watford?
In Watford, yeah, it's the shopping centre. No, it's got these columns that go deep underneath.
Dr. Zahi protests that.
So like, 6,500 feet.
Dr. Zahi.
How long?
6,500 feet.
6,000?
While I was in Cairo, I got to meet, Dr. Zahi Hawass, who's an incredible man. Maybe some controversial, but he put out a whole statement. He contests this. He's like, this is fake news. This whole presence of the columns underneath, I think it might be one of those internet things. I haven't dug deep myself, but that was one of the most exciting things about me about going to Cairo, was that I got to meet Dr. Zahi.
Oh.
Because he's like just so incredible and so knowledgeable and so passionate about everything that he does and what he's discovered, and so he's, I trust Dr. Zahi, and he says the columns under the pyramids are bullshit.
Something's under there though, because one end of the pyramid to the far end has only moved 1 millimeter, which is impossible really, if it's just a structure above the ground, because the earth itself is moving like that, so over thousands of years, it's impossible.
We're talking digging deep. 6,500 meters with feet even. 6,500 feet
It's deep.
with a bunch of slaves.
Well, that's the other thing. I mean, they don't, we can only cut some of the granite today with some of the lasers that we have.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Just
saying.
barely.
That's seriously neat.
So yeah, how do they do that anyway? With slaves?
I hesitate
A lot of
to.
collateral. I mean,
That was one thing about going to Cairo.
A lot of collateral.
You guys have an Cairo experience than I got most
In
of it.
Estonia, I think.
But
I can check that out.
did,
Yeah, check it out.
obviously everyone here is past any sort of like audition or chemistry test read, but did the
I was an
choice?
audition. I just want you guys
Well,
to
there's
know.
people, we're gonna,
These guys might know, but we got some like really heavy hitters. I'm new to this.
get her email afterwards,
To be clear.
from gift offer only. Did you, when was the first time you guys met, and was there any sort of like, thing that either of you were looking for in the other person to kind of know you'd be able to achieve what you needed to on screen, or you, like, got it, right?
No, there was a talk about us doing a chemistry read, and Joe was like, I'm really, into Jodie Turner-Smith, and I was like, great choice. And then it was like, I was like, we don't need to, do a chemistry read. So it never really came up again, and then we just, I think the first time, well, we had a read-through, which was quite cool actually. We did a read-through for the first 2 episodes, and that was kind of nice to do that. I hadn't done that in a while. And so we met, but then, we just sort of started filming, and luckily, we got along, as it did all of us actually, which, in hindsight, thank God, because it's such an intense experience, filming a show, 10 hours to do. But all of us, we were saying earlier, actually Richard was saying, we all kind of work the same way. Everybody just arrives having done their homework and brings it to the table. We don't discuss
It's
about...
not always like that. Sometimes you adjust to how other people work, but that didn't happen here. I mean, really, we all kind of vibrate the same way, and our approach to acting is very similar, so they just kind of flow together.
I know a lot of what you've talked about, because people love to ask you, from what I've seen of press of this show, is like, what was it like doing TV, first time in a long time, blah, blah, blah. Big movie star doing TV, and a lot of this show is a production like a film, right? It's like film screenwriters, film director.
Yeah, it was completely like
everything.
a film.
So my question is there anything about
Actually,
this?
bigger than the last films I've been
Okay, so
in.
yeah, what is different about this?
Independent films, which I love doing. And I hadn't seen, we were talking about it today, I hadn't seen, I don't think I've ever been on a soundstage that big. After all these years of me making studio films, never have I seen a set this big. I mean, he has, because he's done all the Bonds and all the other stuff.
You gotta do it.
Yeah, so the entire